The wild world is full of strange happenings,
Oh, what is he eating?
with animals changing their complete diet to exhibiting creepy behaviors.
What are you doing?
Get ready to witness what was happening to animals that no one could believe.
Let's go, come on.
Oh my god, oh my god. Renovating Buck. You know what they say? There's a price for everything, and this deer proves it. A deer was spotted in a bizarre situation, and it looked like its beautiful horns had turned red, and there was some skin exposed too. Seemed like it had a rough day with some other animals, or even worse, but that was not the case. Apparently, it was just a natural therapy for the deer. The velvet starts peeling off when the antlers reach their full growth for the season. But don't worry, it's not painful for the deer. Actually, it's a good sign. Underneath the velvet, the antlers have hardened and become more solid. So while it may look a bit weird, it's all good. Double shedding. Behold the incredible scene captured in the heart of the Siberian wilderness. A drone caught footage of a moose shaking its body in the middle of the forest. At first, it seemed like the moose was shaking its body to warm up, but then something unexpected happened. Both of its antlers fell off, and right after this shedding, the animal ran away. Well, it's pretty normal for a moose to shed off its antlers, and they do it a couple of times in their life, but recording this from the sky was quite fascinating. Zombie deer. This looks like the opening scene of some apocalyptic movie. Residents in several areas across North America were noticing deer doing the strangest things possible. These animals were seen running in circles while foaming from the mouth. Many even started calling them zombie deer. In reality, this was not any sort of apocalyptic movie scene. These animals were infected with CWD, a disease that affects all members of the deer family and targets the nervous system. It is highly contagious among them. So if you ever see a deer running in circles, make sure you head the other way. Suspicious moose.
He is really messed up. Why does he?
A hiking trip through the forest of Wrangley, Maine brought forward the most nightmarish memories for a person when they came across a rather odd moose strolling through the area. It had its neck tilted to one side and was moving in circles like it had something going through its head. The truth was that this poor animal was infected by a brainworm. These parasites can cause severe neurological symptoms while they move through the host's brain and spinal cord, making them act in this manner.
Something wrong with him.
Carnivore deer.
Oh, what is he eating? That one right there.
It's time to change whatever we read in our books about deer. These animals are going towards a major shift in their diet. Some people were horrified to witness a deer in the distance munching on a bird, and even they had no idea what was going on over here. As far as I remember, these animals used to be herbivores and eat grass and all greens. Well, chill out. These are not some apocalyptic signs. I did some digging, and turns out deer have been observed eating birds on rare occasions. They can exhibit opportunistic feeding behaviors when they need nutrients that are scarce in their regular diet, particularly protein and minerals.
It's a
I
bird.
would hope not. No way. Why would he eat a dead bird?
Reindeer Cyclone. Something incredible reeled in Lovarzio, Russia. What seemed to be a regular herd of reindeer suddenly morphed into a massive cyclone. And not just any cyclone, but a huge one. Well, turns out these clever critters have a trick up their hooves. When faced with predators like wolves, bears, or even humans, they band together and start running in circles. Yep, you heard that right. They use their numbers to confuse the predators. It's like a reindeer rave party with a purpose. Even Vikings would be impressed by this ingenious defense tactic. Rat food. We've all seen and heard about hens eating seeds and grains. But what if I tell you they eat rodents too? Don't believe me? Watch this.
That mouse. They all want the mouse.
A farm owner shared the most bizarre footage of this hen feasting on a mouse that entered its house, and it did not even hesitate in doing so. Well, as crazy as it seems, this is pretty normal for them. Chickens are omnivores and have a surprisingly varied diet that even includes insects, small animals, and lizards. So if they ever get a chance to munch on a small mouse, they never give up the opportunity for a protein-rich meal. Helpless lion.
There he is.
A group of tourists were enjoying their self-game drive in Pliensburg National Park when they noticed some majestic lions in the area. But one of them started acting differently. It suddenly dropped to the ground and had his limbs twitching uncontrollably. At first, everyone thought it might be playing around.
He's having an epileptic fit.
But soon they realized that this king of the jungle was undergoing a seizure. It was kind of heartbreaking to look at one of the strongest animals of the wild turn completely helpless in seconds. But it was hopefully standing on its feet just moments later.
Cool, can I move or not? No.
He looks pretty.
Crazy snack.
What are you doing?
Down on a farm in sunny Queensland, Australia, things took an unexpected turn when one hungry cow decided to switch up her menu. Yep, she went for a scaly snack, munching down on a small snake like it was just a sweet grass snack. But here's the twist. This wasn't just some random cow craving. It turns out she was low on phosphorus. And according to the experts, when cows are running low on this essential nutrient, they can get a bit wild, just like a snake on the loose. So the next time you catch a cow chomping down on something surprising, don't worry, it's probably just trying to balance out its diet. Free fall.
You may have seen that dramatic video of hundreds of birds literally falling from the sky into a neighborhood.
Security cameras on a house in Mexico captured the horrifying moment when the tranquil scene was broken down by a whole flock of dozens of birds that fell down to the ground. It was like the perfect scene from a horror movie. The video circulated on the internet, and it had soon gone viral over just a short span of time. Many experts examined this footage, and some of them speculated that this might have happened because they were trying to escape from a bigger predator.
Best guess is this is a predator. This is a hawk or a falcon that's come into the flock.
But these were just guesses. The truth behind this video remains unknown. Possessed goat. In a horrible twist of events, some locals were shocked to see a goat actually munching on defenseless baby chicks that were sitting in a crate. Can you believe your eyes while watching this video? The otherwise simple herbivore had suddenly become a chicken lover. Although many started pointing out that this video could be manipulated, the truth is far darker. Turns out goats are rarely seen opting for this odd diet out of curiosity and opportunistic feeding. Although eating chicks is not a common behavior, make sure you keep your goats away from all smaller animals. Who knows what they might get into? Paranormal evidence. We've all heard of the concept of souls at some point in our lives, and although many still tend to negate this belief, a trail camera captured something that could change their minds. A hunter had installed the camera to capture the beautiful wildlife, but he witnessed something truly dark from the footage. It showed a wild boar losing its life, and in that time, a dark, shadowy thing emerged from its body. There was no source of smoke anywhere nearby, so many were quick to guess that this was the boar's soul leaving its body. Do you believe in the concept of souls? Share in the comments. The comeback.
Look at him.
A guy was filming this tiny lizard, but He didn't expect a staggering surprise from the little reptile. As he inched closer, the lizard's tail just popped right off its body. Now, before you start thinking there's some dark magic involved, let me set the record straight. This is all about nature's clever tricks. When this lizard feels threatened, it's got this cool defense move. It can ditch its tail like a pro. And here's the best part. Losing its tail doesn't keep this lizard down for long. Within just a month, it's back in business with a brand new tail, ready to pull off its tail act all over again. Now that's what I call a comeback.
Let's go, come on. Oh my god, oh my god.
Sleeping bag. Humans are not the only ones with tricks. The parrotfish has a neat trick up its fins too. When it's time for bed, it creates a cozy cocoon of mucus. This slimy bubble helps keep those pesky parasites away while the fish catches some naps. It takes about an hour for the fish to build this mucus net. But hey, better safe than sorry. You see, during the day, cleaner fish and shrimps lend a helping hand by getting rid of those parasites. But at night, when they're not around, the parrotfish snuggles up in its mucus cocoon, kind of like how we use mosquito nets to avoid those annoying bug bites. Well, that's a smart move, right? Shooting lizard. Get ready for a wild ride because we're going to meet the horned lizards. Those little guys are anything but ordinary. In this footage, when a hungry coyote was on the prowl, he eyed up on our spiky friend. But instead of freaking out, the horned lizard got ready to rumble. And just when you think you have seen it all, it threw a red stream out of its eye like a seasoned marksman. What an unexpected move. But why did this little lizard do this? Well, turns out this wasn't just some party trick. It was their way of saying back off to predators. Spinning mystery.
Steady stream of videos showing the scale of the unusual event that is now being seen beyond the lower Keys.
In December 2023, something weird was going on in Florida's waters. People were reporting strange behavior of fish, like acting wonky and spinning like crazy. And some even ended up on the shore. But what was causing this havoc? The experts tested the water and checked everything, but couldn't find the cause, as there was no red tide or low oxygen or even any disease. Seemed like they just decided to put on that spinning show. The experts are still on it, testing the waters and looking for clues. But despite all the mystery, one thing's for sure. People were staying curious and were avoiding any fish that seemed a little too out of sorts.
It's important to emphasize that there have been no reports of human health issues linked to this unusual event, but scientists do advise avoid eating any fish behaving erratically to stay on the safe side.
Fish Cyclone. In 2020, footage surfaced on the internet in which thousands of fish were just swirling around continuously in a big circle. And they were doing this for a long time. Even the manatees showed up to see what all the fuss was about. Now, why did these fish do this never-ending carousel ride? Well, experts have a couple of theories. First up, safety in numbers. It's like a fishy version of hide and seek, making it tricky for predators to pick one out of the crowd. While some experts think swimming in circles could be their way of catching up with buddies and planning their next underwater shenanigans. Silver Beach. Visitors at Tornado Beach, Philippines witnessed the most breathtaking scenes during their trip when the otherwise normal sands turned silver with thousands of fish beaching themselves. People were stunned at this apocalyptic sight unfolding right in front of them. Some even started gathering fish for food later. But the event of so many fish coming out of their habitat was no normal thing. What was causing them to get washed up on the beaches? Well, some suggested that this could be happening because they were running away from a bigger predator, or it could be due to oxygen depletion in the water. Ant Cyclone. Ants are famous for their sophisticated colonies and precise working, but even they can fall in error. And it looks somewhat like this. This is a whole group of army ants stuck in a spiral of marching behind each other. It can happen when these ants accidentally lose the pheromone trail of their colony and they start following each other, forming a continuously rotating circle. This circular march, also known as the death spiral, continues until all of them perish from exhaustion. Hungry snake.
I'm going to show you what's happening. Let me flip it around for you. Good morning, Trisha. Here's one of our king snakes. This one is already pending adoption.
I'm no expert, but I'm pretty sure that any animal eating itself does not come under normal behavior. You might have seen such symbols in horror movies as well. And as creepy as it seems, the reason behind it is not so unusual. According to some experts, this behavior is known as autocannibalism, and this occurs when serpents undergo stress or confusion. You see, snakes are not as smart as typical mammals, and they can only use their brains for hunting and survival. So, if they ever confuse their tails as other organisms, or have high stress levels, they start demonstrating these strange behaviors.
He actually ate his own tail and then he spit it back up.
Stone diet. I know it might sound weird, but ostriches are known to eat stones. Yes, you heard that right. Hard and strong stones. As crazy as it sounds, this is the day-to-day routine for these birds. It's not like they eat them to fulfill their cravings or as a substitute to food. These stones have a more critical role in their digestive systems. Since they lack teeth to chew, the hard objects are stored in their gizzards that the ostrich uses to digest tough plant material and other food items. This enables them to get maximum nutrients from their diet. Different meal. We've all thought of giraffes as herbivores and that they are always munching on grass. But there's a flip side to their cute looks. These towering animals were recorded by some safari tourists while eating bones and meat. Yes, actual bones of some animal remains. I know it looks wrong and it might make you think these were AI generated, but in reality, it is not uncommon for giraffes to munch on bones. This behavior is known as osteophagy. Giraffes, like many other herbivores, occasionally chew on bones to supplement their diet with minerals, especially calcium and phosphorus. So it's just the giraffes taking a balanced diet for a healthier body. Gators sleep.
American alligator is about the only animal here that doesn't have to have constant extreme heat.
A frozen pond in southeast Texas during an Arctic blast. Not exactly where you'd want to be, but for these alligators, it's like their own cozy winter retreat. In a video captured in Texas, a caretaker saw something poking out of the ice, and he couldn't figure out what it was. But as he got closer, he found those were the gator's snouts. But why did they do this? Well, these American alligators are chill masters. When it gets cold, they just slow down their heart rate to a mere 3 beats per minute and go into a kind of trance. They'll even huddle together for warmth and make sure all their scaly friends stay toasty and cozy, no matter what Mother Nature throws their way.
It'll take them a little bit to come out of that. You're talking about an animal that can barely move when it's this cold.
Octosplash. Humans are not the only ones who throw things in anger. Octopus do that too. Yes. You'd think they're loners keeping to themselves in the deep blue, but researchers in Australia caught them red-handed, or should I say tentacle-handed, interacting and even throwing stuff at each other. These mollusks are usually antisocial, but this time they were caught on camera, tossing algae shells and silt at their buddies. And get this, sometimes they even aim and project items straight at each other, with the poor recipients ducking for cover. Scientists are still confused and are trying to figure out how they act like this. Maybe they just need some alone time? Who knows? Talking raven.
So ravens are excellent at mimicking sounds they hear.
Meet the white-necked raven, a small bird with a knack for tricks and talk.
Hi. Hi. Good job.
These genius birds are found all over eastern and southern Africa, and let me tell you, they've got brains to spare. These birds can mimic human speech, and they're not shy about showing off.
Treasure.
One raven even talked with an old lady, and not just talked, it even sang a song for her too. Well, that was impressive. Their owners trained them with treats, getting them to say words like hi and hello.
Hello. Hello. Good bird.
It's amazing what these feathered friends can do. Even in the wild, creatures like the ravens can steal our hearts with a little charm and some clever words.
Good bird.
Puffing jumbo. Out in the wilderness, something pretty wild was caught in the camera. An elephant looking like it was taking a safari smoke break. But let me tell you, it wasn't a cigarette break at all. Nope, this big guy was chomping down on charcoal like it was a gourmet meal. Turns out elephants aren't just into trees and grass. They know the benefits of charcoal, and they're not afraid to take a bite. Wildlife experts say it's all about the medicine in that black stuff. So next time you see an elephant with a mouthful of charcoal, just know it's all part of nature's health plan. Fake demise. A guy spotted a hog-nosed snake slithering near his backyard. But when he decided to give it a little poke, this crafty snake put on a show like no other. First, it started wriggling around like a fish out of water. Then, just when you might think it's over, it went completely still, tongue hanging out like it was about to meet its maker. But why did this snake do this? He was not even harmed by the guy. Turns out this snake species has a secret weapon. Its built-in drama feature. And it's all part of a clever defense mechanism to outsmart the pesky predators. Back scratches. Bears are living their lives to the fullest in the wild world. Some trail cameras captured the moment when bears leave behind their scary predatory personalities and turn into the best dancers out there. If we look closely, they actually scratch their backs to relieve themselves of some itches, get rid of old fur, or even leave their own scent. It's like the bear version of a Tinder profile. Whatever the case is, these giants look like they've got better moves than most of the people I know. So next time you see a bear dancing with a tree, it's most probably enjoying nature's own spa treatment. Bizarre turkeys. Now, are these turkeys engaged in some sort of a demonic ritual? What sorcery was going on over here? A man was driving down the road when he noticed 3 turkeys moving around a tree in circles, and it gave him the creeps. Although he had no idea what was going on here, I did some research, and there are a couple of reasons behind this glitch in their working. They could either be confused or were doing this to get a mate. Another video showed 2 turkeys spinning around each other, and one got so dizzy that it had fallen off. I would like to become as carefree as these birds too. Man bear.
Remember that big mystery in New Jersey? We first showed this video on Thursday, the bear walking on 2 feet.
Believe it or not, this is not someone in a suit. It's an actual bear. Residents in a neighborhood of New Jersey were shocked yet amazed to see a giant black bear walk around in the area like a normal person. This animal was walking on its 2 back legs because its front paws were damaged and made it quite difficult to maneuver like an ordinary bear. Some locals even decided to gather around to try helping this poor bear walk in a more comfortable manner. But watching a full-grown bear walking like humans has to be one crazy experience.
Black bears are incredibly adaptable animals, as this particular bear has demonstrated.
High dolphins. Out in the sea, a playful pod of dolphins caught the eye of onlookers, but there was something off about them. They were acting like they'd had one or too many cocktails. But let me tell you, these dolphins weren't sipping on just any cocktails. Nope. They had their sights set on the toxins of the pufferfish. When these puffy creatures are threatened, they release a potent neurotoxin that could be fatal. But for them, they just had a trippy effect. According to some experts, dolphins actually like to get high on pufferfish toxins. They carefully chew on the fish and pass it around to each other. It was pretty wild. No doubt dolphins are smart, but it seemed like they've taken it to a whole new level. Dolphin trick. A couple of bottlenose dolphins were tapping their tails at the bottom of the sea and moving around in circles. They were creating a wall of dust around them, just like planes do in the sky. But it wasn't just a show-off or anything, but a smart trick for hunting. You see, dolphins are getting crafty with their hunting game. They figured out that if they stir up the seabed with their tails and swim in circles, they can create a muddy net that traps fish. It's like a sneaky fishing trick. Once the fish are caught in the mud net, there's no escape, and they swim right into the waiting mouths of the clever dolphins. Looks like they've got their own underwater fishing technique all figured out. Tipsy bird. Magpies are one of the most intelligent birds out there, but even they can fall for a nice hangover over fermented apples. Just look at this one. A woman from Telemark noticed that a magpie could not even walk straight in the grass, all thanks to the fermented apples it had thoroughly enjoyed from the ground. These fruits made it so drunk that it won't be flying home anytime soon. Well, I guess it is not going to be the early bird next morning. Vegan lion. Lions are the kings of the jungle and one of the strongest predators on land. But even these carnivores can have multiple cravings. Some tourists were awestruck when they witnessed a giant lion casually licking and biting a watermelon in the zoo. They thought they had stepped in some sort of a parallel universe. This big cat was playing around and munching on fruit. In the wild, lions never go near fruits or vegetables, as their diet strictly consists of meat. But in captivity, they are provided with watermelons for enrichment purposes. Walking fish. All fish swim in the water. It's like the basic thing we all know about them. But here's a pair that was done with the traditional swimming and started walking on the ground. Some pedestrians could not believe their eyes when they witnessed two fish actually out of water and using their fins to walk instead of swim. Now I'm starting to think that ending times might really be near. Who knows what can happen in the near future?
Yeah, 胜利了.
Crossing road. Turns out our roads are not just used by us. Even fish are starting to cross over to the other side. Some divers were amazed to watch these salmon literally swim upstream and through a road in order to get to their spawning site. These fish have very strong swimming abilities and are famous for moving against the flow for their mating rituals. Still, it is quite impressive to watch these water dwellers adapt to different situations for survival of their species. Fish unity. Have you ever seen this crazy sight? Some divers snagged some epic footage from the deep sea, where they were welcomed by this massive ball of fish. I'm talking about thousands of them, all swimming together super close. It was like they were having their own underwater party. But get this, they weren't just swimming for fun. Turns out it was a clever defense move by the smaller fish. They huddle up tight in this big group to scare off any predators lurking around. Pretty smart, right? Even fish know how to stick together when things get dicey. Flying fish. Have you ever thought about fish flying? Sounds crazy, but it's totally a thing. Meet this magical fish. These guys are like the superheroes of the sea. They're not your regular fish with just a flick of their tails. They soar through the air, gliding for hundreds of meters. But why take to the skies? Well, when you're a surface-dwelling fish, there's not much to hide behind out in the open ocean. That's where the flying fish's superpower comes in handy. They zip through the air to escape predators, darting away in schools or even soaring solo. It's like a fishy air show out there, and trust me, it's a sight you won't want to miss. Vulture Diet. Vultures are one of the carnivore birds and they typically scavenge for food. Although their diet consists of meat, they are also capable of eating the bone. One vulture can easily swallow a whole leg bone and it won't even affect its health. If any bone is a bit too big for them, these birds will drop them from a height to split it in smaller pieces that are easier to engulf. Well, this shows the cycle of life in nature. Nothing, even the bones of an animal, don't go to waste. Open discussion. This video made rounds on the internet and showed a caribou scratching its antlers with a tree, and they were turning red from it. Although many were concerned about what was happening here, this was a completely normal thing, and it is called velvet shedding. This occurs during the growth cycle of their antlers. Caribou have velvety skin rich in vessels covered over their antlers that provide oxygen to the developing bone beneath. Once the antlers have fully developed, the velvet dries up, and the reindeer shed it by rubbing it with trees. All members of the deer family undergo this process, and it is vital for their antlers' health. You might get worried by these appearances, but it's nothing to worry about. These animals do not get hurt while shedding it. It's just Mother Nature's way of giving them a glow. Thank you very much for watching the video. Do like and share it with your friends. Subscribe to the channel and hit the bell icon to not miss any of the upcoming amazing videos. Thank you once again.